Finally for us tonight, the Buffalo Bills wrapping up the preseason this weekend, hosting the Green Bay Packers at Highmark Stadium tomorrow afternoon. I don't think you're allowed to bring the umbrella into the game, maybe a poncho. Many starters didn't play in the first two games, so the majority of first stringers will see their first action in a game tomorrow. That includes quarterback Josh Allen.
And tomorrow's game really isn't even the big Bills news at the moment. There is a lot of focus on the NFL's COVID-19 protocols after 4 Buffalo players were in quarantine outside team facilities after they were identified as close contacts with a vaccinated staff member who tested positive. They were, however, reactivated this afternoon. Lots to talk about with our friend Vic Carucci. He is our 2 on Your Side Bills insider. You can watch him on Sports Talk Live here on Channel 2 during the season. You can also hear him on Sirius XM Radio. And Vic, I hope I didn't miss anything there, but we're glad you're here anyway.
You got it all covered.
Hey, Vic, let's start by talking about the team's current COVID situation, kind of giving us a look at how the league is going to be handling these cases throughout the season. Doesn't matter as much now as it's going to later. These players have been put back on the active roster. What is the latest reporting that you have in terms of whether they're going to play tomorrow? And we're also hearing that maybe the NFL is going to be changing up some of these protocols because Delta is more contagious, obviously. How do you see this playing out in the weeks ahead?
Yeah, as far as who will be on the field among those majority of starters that Sean McDermott says he plans to play, not sure about that as it applies to some of the COVID cases or those who were put in the COVID protocol. I think the concern, though, is this a preview, a prelude to something that could truly trip up the chances of this team fulfilling the high expectations? And that's I don't even know if I'm going to call it an elephant sitting in the middle of Highmark Stadium. It is the thing that's on everybody's mind is this is going to mess with, the chances of this team succeeding, or will it? And I think that's where Sean McDermott is coming from when he emphasizes and says it over and over again. We're trying to educate players. We're trying to educate players. I don't know even what that means. If you don't know that having a vaccine is better than not having a vaccine, what more can Sean McDermott say or Brandon Beane say to convince those otherwise, those players who have decided not to? And it's about 20%. It puts the Bills near the lower portion of the league in that regard. As far as the NFL rules, the NFL is obviously sensitive to what's going on with regard to Delta variant. They're thinking about or maybe trying to push for regular, like weekly testing, even for the players who've been vaccinated. So this is a problem that we know what it did in the past season. It's potentially going to get worse this year.
Quickly getting back on the field, Vic, perhaps the biggest news there is that quarterback Josh Allen's going to get the start tomorrow. We haven't seen him in either preseason game yet, but backup Mitch Trubisky did have a great game last week. So the Bills appear to have some pretty good depth at the position. What are you looking for from Allen tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, first of all, that he's going to play. I thought he would just be kept on ice, but I get what Sean McDermott is thinking here, which is this game Saturday, tomorrow, represents the last time you put him in a competitive football situation or the chance to do so. And then there's like a gap, a 2-week gap before you're playing for real in that opener September 12th against the Steelers. So getting him maybe a little tune-up time, fine, as long as he's well protected in that. The concern always comes to this. This last preseason game is a chance for everybody to do, I'm talking about the bubble players, the ones who have a not so good chance of making the roster on both teams, a chance for them to stand out. What better way for a defensive player from the Packers to stand out than to get to Josh Allen, put him down hard, not just intercept him, but also sack him or hit him as he's throwing, all those things. So that's something you gotta think about. And as far as the whole, like, what do you hope to get out of this? What's the goal? Get out of it healthy.
Got to leave it there for now. Vic Carucci, thank you.
Good to see you, Vic. All right, that's going to do it for today's Town Hall. And for the week, we'll see you back on Monday. Hope you have a great weekend.
Don't forget to text us your questions and comments to 716-849-2220.